Hello, and welcome to Maple Shade's fall drama production of Little Women. We ask at this time you please turn all of your cell phones off as they interfere with our wireless microphone system. Also, no flash photography will be permitted during the show. In case of an emergency, there are exits and entrances located in the front and back of the theater. No food or drink is permitted in the theater, but there will be a brief 15-minute intermission in between Act 1 and Act 2. Please stay tuned for our next spring musical production of Footloose coming up soon. And enjoy Little Women.
My mind drifts back to that Christmas Eve so long ago, when nothing in our little home seemed wrong, and nothing in the world outside seemed right.
Why isn't Beth helping with the garland?
Because Beth did most of the decorating before we came home.
I'll be glad to help. Just think how pleased Marmee will be when she sees it.
I finished it at last! And not a moment too soon if you ask me.
Joe, where have you been all this time?
Need you ask? Just look at what she's wearing.
Say what you like about my writing hat, but I've just written the closing scene for The Witch's Curse. That was a divine inspiration.
Well, we've finished trimming the tree without you.
Christmas won't be the same without presents.
It's dreadful to be poor.
I can remember when we used to be rich.
I remember too.
It's not fair that some girls have plenty of lovely things, while other girls, prettier girls, have nothing at all.
We're better off than so many others, though. Orphans, for instance. We still have father and Marmee and each other.
But we don't have father, and probably won't for quite some time. Who can say how long the war will last?
Many families in the north and south will be without their men this year.
The army is having a dreadful winter. Supplies are scarce. Marmee's right when she says we shouldn't buy each other presents this year. We have to make some sacrifices too.
I don't mind most of the sacrifices, but I am tired of remaking these dresses year after year.
Well, none of you suffer the way I do. You don't have to go to school with impertinent girls who label your father just because he's poor.
If you mean libel, say so. And stop talking about labels as if father was a pickle jar.
I know what I mean, and you needn't be satirical about it. It's proper to use good words and improve your vocabulary.
Vocabulary. Christopher Columbus, aren't we proper?
Don't, Joe, it's so boyish.
That's why I do it.
I hate rude, unladylike girls.
And I hate affected little chits.
Birds in their little nests agree. Really now, you're both to blame. Amy, your prim ways are funny now, but you'll grow up to be an affected little goose if you aren't careful. As for you, Joe, it's time you stop your boyish tricks. You turn up your hair now, and you should remember that you are a young lady.
I ain't. And if turning up my hair makes me one, I'll wear it in 2 tails until I'm 20. I don't want to grow up and be Miss March. I won't wear long gowns and be prim as a porcelain doll. I just can't get over my disappointment in not being a boy. Look at me, dying to go out and fight war with father, while all I can do is sit at home and knit like some pokey old woman.
Poor Joe.
Oh, I don't want your pity. Because one day, I'll be a famous writer and make a fortune writing books. Then I'll live and behave as I please. And Amy, you'll have dozens of dresses with satin and lace. Meg will have plenty of handsome beaux to dance with. And of course, a beautiful new piano for my Bethy.
I should like that.
So, no more fighting and let's get to work on our play. Beth, play something gruesome for us. Amy, I wrote you a new scene. It's wonderful.
Oh no.
It's very simple. All you have to do is shout, Rodrigo! Rodrigo! Save me! Save me! Then faint.
Rodrigo! Rodrigo! Save me! Save me! Oh, I can't do that! I don't want to make myself all black and blue throwing myself about the way you do. Besides, I have already designed my costume, and tumbling about would just ruin my gold paper jewelry and crown.
You don't have any jewelry, and you certainly don't have a crown.
And why not? I am a princess, am I not?
But you don't know it. You think you're a serving girl for Beth, Hagar the witch.
A princess? Always know she's a princess.
Well, you don't. Now, you're locked in a tower when suddenly I, Hugo the villain, enter, and you cry out for Rodrigo.
I thought Meg was Don Pedro, my father.
She is, but you don't know it. I've told you a dozen times you haven't the slightest idea who you are until the end of Act 5.
Oh. Does Meg know?
Of course.
Then I want to know too. Why should I always be the ignorant one?
Because if you know who you are, the play is over.
Well, it's too long anyway.
Amy, please just do the scene. Besides, it's impolite to correct the author.
Yes, and Joe's a regular Shakespeare.
Oh, well, it's nothing, really. Now, places everyone. Are you ready? I am Hugo. Here I come with wicked intentions. Aha! I move closer. Aha!
Come and get your tea, girls. Why can't we have coffee anymore, Hannah?
Because it's scarce and dear. Ships are needed in time of war, and they've got no time to go off to Brazil and bring back coffee for Miss Amy March. And some folks got nothing better to do with their time than to pry into other folks' business.
Who is it, Hannah?
That Lawrence boy.
What Lawrence boy?
Mr. Lawrence's grandson. He's come to live with him.
I didn't know the old fusspot had a grandson.
He had just arrived last week, and from what I've heard, he sounds like a fine one.
Why? What's he done?
Well, besides running away from school,
That's the bravest thing I've ever heard.
he was found at an army registration office. He had lied about his age and tried to join up. Could you imagine?
I certainly can. I should like to do the same thing.
Fine soldier you make.
Joe, don't.
Oh, Joe.
It's our private property. I can look as much as I like.
You're as bad as he is.
There he is!
Amy, Beth, stand back from the window.
I'm certainly glad he's a boy. I should like to get to know a boy and have some fun for a change.
Don't say such things.
I wonder how I could get to know him. Or Cat could get lost. Then he could bring it back.
That doesn't sound very romantic.
Who said anything about romance? Yoo-hoo, over here! Hello? Hello?
Disgracing us.
Hello? That wretched boy. Oh, he waved back.
Perhaps now you'll draw the curtains, and we can continue rehearsing the play.
I suppose.
Where were we? Rodrigo! Rodrigo! Save me! Save me!
Well, yes. But perhaps if you try it like, it's no use. Just do your best when the time comes, and if the audience boos, don't blame me.
I'm glad to find you so merry, my girl.
Marty, how was your day?
Sit down, Marmy.
Oh, Beth, has anyone called today? Come and hug me.
Not today, Marmy. Here. Put these on. They're nice and warm.
Oh, thank you, baby. Joe, you look tired to death.
Oh no, I'm all right.
Have you seen Aunt March about the position yet?
Not yet, Marmy. How's work with the ladies' Army Aid Auxiliary today?
We're so short of blankets that we had to start cutting up carpets to send to the men.
I wouldn't mind sleeping under a carpet if I could join up.
Oh, Joe.
How's your cold, Meg?
Practically gone, Marmy.
Did you see Mrs. King today?
Yes. I start on Monday. $4 a week, Marmy. The house is so lovely, and the children seem so sweet. It won't be like work at all.
I'm so proud of you.
I'll rub your feet for you, Marmy.
Oh, thank you, dear. Joe, be a dear and fetch my mom. I have a surprise for you.
A surprise for Joe?
Well, for all of you, really.
Father!
Send you all a little Christmas message. Now, who could that be?
From the sound of the pounding, I'd say Aunt March.
Yes, there's our sleigh. I'd like to have a sleigh, and then I wouldn't have to walk everywhere.
Good evening, Aunt March. Good evening. Not at all, miss, not at all. It's freezing cold, the dead of winter, and you haven't even shoveled a proper path to the front door. I may have slipped and broken, who knows what. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Aunt March.
So nice of you to visit us tonight.
Yes, come in by the fire. Thank you, no. I have a fire at home where I should be at this very minute. I only came by to bring you these. Meg. Thank you, Aunt March. Joe.
Thank you, Aunt March.
Amy.
Thank you, Aunt March.
And Beth. Goodness gracious, where is that child? Here I am, Aunt March. Oh my, for pity's sake, stop skulking around like that. I don't like people. Thank you, Aunt March. Oh well, far be it from me to complain, but when I was a girl, I made a special point of visiting my aunt's home to wish them a Merry Christmas. Not the other way around. I didn't force them to leave the comforts of their sitting rooms to come and visit me. See that you spend it wisely.
The girls and I had been planning to visit you tomorrow, Auntie.
Tomorrow? Well, you'll never know if there will be a tomorrow now, do we? Have you heard from that foolish father of yours, waltzing off to war and leaving others to take care of his family? Doesn't he realize that Lincoln needs fighters to win this war, not worn-out preachers like himself?
We're very proud of Father, and you should be too.
Joe.
Besides, we don't need anyone to take care of us.
My, aren't we hoity-toity?
Some tea, Aunt March?
No. If your father had listened to me, we'd all be far better off. I took one look at that swindler he shook hands with, and he swiped the pennies of a dead man's eyes. But your father believes he sees the good in every shiftless ne'er-do-well he meets.
There's no point in dwelling on the past, Auntie.
Besides, it was our money that got lost. It hasn't got anything to do with you.
Don't be impertinent with me, Missy. It's a waste of time talking to you. You're as pig-headed as your father and as much common sense as a dizzy cow. No one here ever listens to my good advice, like talking to a flock of geese. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Aunt March.
Aunt March, wait.
How do you try my patience now, Miss Impertinence?
It's just, I'd like to apologize for my outburst, and I'm willing to bury the hatchet if you are. So, what do you say?
Amy, where are you going?
I want to hear what she's saying to Aunt March.
Amy.
So, Aunt March, if the position is still open, I'd like to be your personal companion.
You certainly are a trowel, Miss Josephine March. Still, I suppose the devil you know is better than the one you don't. You can come around the house after the holidays, if it suits you.
Thank you, Aunt March. You won't be sorry.
Merry Christmas, Josephine.
Well, it's all settled.
What is?
I'm Aunt March's new, paid companion.
Oh?
I'll read her books, keep her company, and make pleasant conversation.
Pleasant conversation?
When do you begin, dear?
After the holidays.
May we open our envelopes now, Marmee?
Yes, Amy.
$1,000! To help from me! I could buy a new book. Maybe The Black Avenger.
Oh, how I'd love a new bonnet with ribbons and lace and a long feather.
I could get some new favorite drawing pencils and a new sketch pad.
And what will you buy, Bethy?
I would like some new sheet music. May we run to the shop now, Marmee, before it closes?
All right, girl.
But what about Father's?
Yes, our letter.
First, our letter from Father.
To my loving wife.
Give my girls a kiss and tell them I think of them by day, pray for them at night, and find my best comfort in their affections at all times. I know that they will remember all I've said, that they will be loving children to you and work diligently so that these hard times need not be wasted. I know they will fight their bosom enemies bravely and conquer themselves so beautifully that when I come back to them, I may be fonder and prouder than ever of my little women.
Ma'am?
Yes, Hannah.
Sorry to disturb you, ma'am, but it's a message from Mrs. Hummel. Wants to know if you could come right away.
Yes, of course. Joe, will you get my wrap? Thank you, dear. Good night, children.
Good night,
Good night,
Marmee.
Don't wait up for me. I may be late. Good night.
Good night.
Marmee ought to have a new pair of slippers. I can make do with the music I have.
No. I'm the man of the house while Father is gone. I'll provide the slippers.
Beth thought of it first.
Then I'll buy her a pair of new shoes.
Gloves. A fine pair of pink gloves. Maybe kid.
I'll get her a bottle of cologne. A small bottle. That shouldn't cost too much and I can still buy my pencils.
But Joe, won't the store be closed by now?
Then we'll storm the citadel. They'll have to open up for us. Come on. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. Fa la 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 la.
Thoughtful of the March girls to share their holiday festivities with us.
Yes, my dear. You do know, of course, that the March family was once one of the most prominent families in Concord. Genteel gatherings of the right people and lovely dances hosted by the March family were quite commonplace in those days.
What happened to bring them down so far, Mrs. Gardner?
Well, my dear, it was foolish Mr. March and his altruistic ways. Attempting that ridiculous integrated school and his communal farm? Ha, why... It's absolutely scandalous, and I shan't say another word for fear of corrupting you impressionable young girls with his wretched progressive ideas. I will say, everyone in town pities poor Mrs. March for her foolish...
Excuse me, Mother, but who's the young man who's come to stay with old Mr. Lawrence? Or Tom's told me he's from Europe.
Oh, Sally, Sally, Sally. My dear child, it is never polite to gossip about others. Until you know all the facts. Now, old Mr. Lawrence's grandson is quite another story altogether. He'd make quite a catch for one of you young ladies in a few years. Why? He'll be the most eligible man in Concord when he comes of age. Quite a lot of money there, you know, of course. I would never discuss that with you. It would be terribly indiscreet to discuss finances with...
Now just hold still a moment, Amy.
I really must insist I don't have time for this. Hannah can help hold the setup. I must have time to adjust my costume.
Oh, goodness gracious, I can't help now. There's someone at the door. Hurry yourselves in now, ladies, and let me collect your wraps. And you can settle yourselves in the parlor.
Thank you so much, dear. And could you see that our wraps are hung properly? And try not to crush the fur.
You may want to hurry yourselves in now, ladies, while I go hang the wraps. The girls are just about ready to begin.
I was afraid we'd have to postpone until New Year's. There's been so much confusion. But it looks like smooth sailing from here on out.
The Witch's Curse, an operatic tragedy. Zara, Zara, where's that wicked servant girl of mine?
Oh, Hagar! I am here! What is your bidding?
Go into the woods to the castle of Hugo the Black.
Oh, woe is me!
There to meet Rodrigo and deliver this secret codicil.
Rodrigo, my love, my life.
Go now, into the woods!
Yes, Hagar, I fly! Rodrigo? Rodrigo, where are you, my love? Strange that this should be your appointed destination. Apprehension floods my soul in this place of tremulous terror. I fear some evil awaits me. Oh, Rodrigo, would that you were here now.
Ha ha ha!
What ho? Who is there? Rodrigo, my love?
No, 'tis I, Hugo the Black.
Oh no!
Oh yes, and I intend to make you my wife this night. My haunted wood shall be your bridal bower.
Oh, Rodrigo, where are you, my love? Lord, take pity on my helpless soul.
Rodrigo's but a fading dream now. At last you are mine.
Rodrigo, save me, save me.
No, tonight I shall make Zara my bride. Christopher Columbus!
Well, I don't intend to bruise myself on your account.
Girls, the audience is waiting.
Oh, Rodrigo, will you not save me from a fate worse than death?
Come the stroke of midnight.
You needn't segregate me, Joe. I know the line. Come the stroke of midnight, or I shall be lost to you for all eternity. Do not let me become the devil's bride.
'Tis I, Rodrigo, here to foil the witch's curse. Zara, my love, where are you?
Oh, Rodrigo, I knew you would not fail me. Quickly, free me from my tower prison come the stroke of midnight, or all is lost.
Ha ha ha!
Here, my love. This ladder shall make our escape possible, and together we shall journey far from this place. Oh dear.
Just go on! Go on as though nothing had happened! Oh, this is dreadful! Just dreadful!
Now, if you would all care to retire to the dining room, refreshments will be served directly. Compliments to old Mr. Lawrence himself.
Oh, really? Oh, my.
Marmee, it was just...
Wonderful.
Really?
Truly. You're becoming quite the wordsmith, Joe. Now go and enjoy the festivities with your friends.
Christopher Columbus!
Kidney pies and popovers and fresh coffee.
And everything!
Merry Christmas, girls.
Merry Christmas, Hannah!
The table looks beautiful, Hannah. Heavens, don't know what all the fuss is all about. I just remember back when I fixed you folks breakfast like this every morning.
We must have been enormously rich. How was I dressed when we had all that money?
In diapers.
Is Marmee up yet?
Oh yes, up and out.
On Christmas morning? Where is she?
At the Hummels. Poor Mrs. Hummel delivered her baby early this morning. The Hummels have another baby? One baby after another. 6 children, half frozen, huddled together in one bed and no fire. All skin and bones they are. So your mother took her breakfast over there. And now I believe in charity as much as the next person. But we haven't got anything to spare.
Didn't she see her presents?
Yes, and quite pleased with them she was. Now she said for you to have your breakfast and go straight on to church, and she'll meet you there.
What's the matter, Beth?
I don't feel hungry anymore.
Beth, dear, people are starving everywhere, every day. If you let that bother you, you'll never eat again.
I try not to think about it.
We don't know those people. But we do know the Hummels. We passed their house on the way to church.
What are you saying? Joe, you're not saying we should give our breakfast to the Hummels, are you? You wouldn't do a thing like that, would you?
I could.
So could I. Well, it's all or none.
Well, I don't suppose none of us is an option. All right, but I insist on a secret vote.
Oh, Amy.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oh, fine, I...
Good, it's decided then. Let's bundle up.
What's going on then?
We're off to church, Hannah, with just one stop along the way.
Land sakes, is my whole breakfast off to the Hummels then?
The whole breakfast, Hannah.
Well, I suppose I can spare a quart of wood, too.
Oh, Hannah, you're an angel.
I'll carry the popovers. You can take the milk.
No, I'm fine. I can manage perfectly.
I'm sure you can. That's why you're taking the milk. We want to have something left for the Hummels.
Oh, excuse me, miss. I believe you dropped this.
Why, thank you.
Come along, Josephine.
Say, you're that Lawrence boy who lives next door, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Theodore Lawrence. Oh, and this is my tutor, John Brooke.
Well, how do you do?
How do you do?
And how do you do?
How do you do?
I'm Joe March, this is Meg, and the three up the road are Amy, Beth, and Hannah. Merry Christmas to you both.
And Merry Christmas to you.
We've heard all about you, you know. How you ran away from school and tried to join up. I think it's just plummy.
Josephine, we should be going.
You know, I've seen you watching us from your window, and I can't help
Well, I didn't mean to be rude, but it's so dull at grandfather's. Those the tomb, to be frank. And your house always seems so fun and interesting. Like a painting. One of all the lamps are lit, and you gather around your mother.
Where's your mother?
She died in Europe shortly after my father's death.
I'm so sorry. I give you leave to watch us whenever you please, and to come and join the picture if you feel like it.
Oh, no, I couldn't. Grandfather would say I was imposing.
Oh, Bilgewater. Theodore Lawrence, you are officially invited to call upon the march home whenever you please.
Thank you. I will.
Josephine, please.
Honestly, Meg, come on. Well, goodbye.
Oh, for now.
For now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
And goodbye, Miss March.
Josephine March, what will they think of us now, stopping to talk in the street like that without being properly introduced?
I don't care, and I'll bet they don't either. Besides, you weren't very polite. You're getting as prissy as Amy. Wouldn't hurt you to say hello.
Not after the way that man stared at me.
What man? You mean Mr. Brooke? I hadn't noticed.
Well, I had. Oh my.
What is it?
He's still looking.
Who?
Mr. Brooke! Don't look!
Who, me?
My invitation to talk.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Theodore Lawrence, calling upon Miss Josephine March.
Joe, you've got company. Right this way. Mr. Lawrence?
Oh, hello, Theodore.
Oh, please, call me Lori. Everybody else does.
All right, Laurie then.
I expect you'll be wanting some tea,
Yes, Hannah, that would be lovely.
just as I thought.
Now, do tell me all about yourself before you arrived here in Concord, Mr. Laurie.
I used to live in Europe. with my
Europe?
parents.
How exciting! I'm going there too, you know.
Really? When?
Oh, I don't know, really. My Aunt March, what a crotchety old thing she is, has rheumatism and... Did I tell you I work as her companion? Anyway, the doctor said the baths in Europe might do her some good, so did you go to the baths? I mean, for rheumatism.
I don't have rheumatism.
Of course not, neither have I, but I figured the baths couldn't do you any harm. What do you think?
Here we are.
Oh, thank you, Hannah.
This one will talk an ear off a stalk of corn if given half a chance.
Oh, I don't mind a bit. I like talking.
I hope so. For your sake. Enjoy and call if you need anything.
Thank you, Hannah. Anyway, I really want to go to Europe for my writing. Traveling is so important for a writer. What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh. How do you like getting along with your grandfather?
Oh, fine. I suppose. It's just
I
that...
know. You should have seen him before you came.
Really? Isn't he a holy terror?
You should meet my Aunt March. Slice of cake?
Oh, please. It almost looks too good to eat.
Meg made it.
Is Meg the oldest? Brooke and I were wondering.
Why should he wonder about her?
Well, he seems rather taken by her. Surely you noticed.
So he sent you to find out for him. Well,
No,
you can tell him we don't like anyone in this house. Well, we like many people in this house, but we don't like young men. Well, we do like young men, but we don't like young men who wonder about who we like. Meg is just too young and too smart to wonder about who wonders about her.
Perhaps I'd better
I'm
go.
sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Do you really want to go?
No, not really. It's so dull over there, and everything over here seems so lively.
I'm glad you like it here.
Say, can I join one of your plays sometime?
I'll say, I'd love someone else to play the villain. I hate wearing that mustache. It makes me sneeze.
Oh, I know how to fence, too.
Really?
Really? Here. See? On guard.
On guard! A hit! A hit! What say you?
A touch, I do confess.
You're rollicking. There's someone at the door. Mrs. March. Mrs. March. It's one of those telegraph things.
It's Father.
Oh, Marmee, no.
He's been wounded. He's at the hospital in Washington. I must go at once.
I can ask Grandfather for the carriage to take you to the station.
You'll need fare for the train and expenses, but we don't have anything in our savings to pay for those things.
I'll go and ask Aunt March.
Quickly, girls, we'll help your mother pack.
Oh my God.
There now. That's everything. Don't forget this.
I wonder what could be keeping Joe.
The carriage is waiting outside, and Grandfather sent along a bottle of port for Mr. March.
Thank you, Laurie, and give my kindest regards to your grandfather. Beth, place this carefully in my traveling satchel.
Yes, Marmee.
Careful not to shake it.
Where is Joe?
Where is she? Where is she? Where's that foul-tempered daughter of yours?
I thought she was with you, Aunt March.
Huh, not very likely. Not after her visit. Take this. Lord knows you need more than what you've asked for. One can only guess what you find once you get there.
Thank you so very much, Auntie.
Oh, pish-posh and twaddle. Now you know how to get there, right? You change trains in New York, a hard city, and then you...
I don't believe that'll be completely necessary. Mr. Lawrence has already asked me to accompany you to see that you get to Washington safely.
That's terribly kind, Mr. Brooke, but really there's no need.
It would be my pleasure. To be a service of you and your family, Mrs. March. And besides, he's already engaged some work for me to complete while I'm there, so you see.
That you're all terribly kind. Thank you. Thank you all so very much.
Then, with your permission, we'll load your luggage and we'll wait for you outside in the carriage.
Thank you, Mr. Brooke.
I want to apologize for being less than neighborly in the past. You've been very kind, Mr. Brooke. You don't know what a relief it is to know that Marmee has someone to look after her.
Thank you, Meg. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
What on earth is keeping that child?
At least finish your tea while you're waiting, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Hannah. Beth, dear, see that you don't forget the Hummels while I'm away.
No, Marmee, I won't. I promise.
Well, someone might remember me too once in a while for a change. I hope everything turns out for the better, but I doubt it.
Aunt March.
Yes, miss, here I am. And no thanks to you. I had to get up, get dressed, and ride over here by myself. Because you're so stubborn. You don't get that from my side of the family. Good afternoon.
Joe, where have you been? Marmee was worried sick. We all were.
Yes, what could have kept you this long?
I went to Aunt March, and she croaked like she always does when someone asks her to open her purse, and, well, I just couldn't stand it. There he is, her own nephew, sick in the hospital, and all she can do is complain about money. So I lost my temper. And, well, here's my contribution.
$25? Where on earth did you get it, Joe?
I came by it honestly. I only sold what belonged to me.
Joe,
It doesn't affect the State of the Union. I just happened by the wig maker's shop and saw some tails of hair in the window with the price tags on them and figured it might do me some good to get my mop cut off. So I did.
Thank you, Joe.
Are you ready, Mrs. March? We'll have to hurry now. Christopher Columbus, what happened to you? You look like a porcupine. Sorry.
I don't mind.
It will grow back and be just as beautiful as before. But you'll never be more beautiful to me than you are right now.
I like it. It will be easy to keep up.
Yes, and it's strangely becoming.
We'll have to hurry now, Mrs. March.
You can't miss your train.
Yes, you're right.
Can we go with you?
No, it's best if you stay here and carry on as usual. Remember to comfort one another. And Meg, you'll watch over your sisters. Try to be more patient, Joe. And Bethy, please don't forget the Hummels.
I won't, Marmee. I promise.
Amy, be obedient. Goodbye, my children. I'll keep this picture of you in my mind. God bless and keep us all.
Oh, my poor Joe, you're crying.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
It will be all right, dear. Marmee has Mr. Brooke to help her, and Father's a strong man, I'm sure.
I'm not crying because of that.
Well, what is it then?
My hair!
Now I'll find out what you've been up to with all your scribbling lately. Is this why you haven't had any time to talk to me lately?
Return it now, Mr. Lawrence, or never speak to me again.
Oh, fine. Just like a girl. First you say we weren't gonna have any secrets, then this.
This is different.
It's still a secret.
No.
Well, you can keep it. Because I've got one too.
Oh, bilge water.
And it's plummy.
Very?
Very.
Oh, fine. If that's the game you're going to play, you tell me yours and I'll tell you mine. Fine. Read it yourself.
Pay to the order of Miss Josephine March. $1 for her story entitled The Phantom Hand.
Well, what do you think of that?
Just $1?
Go on, laugh. But that's just the start. Someday I'll get as high as 10.
I don't understand you. Cooped up in that attic every spare minute. Writing away. For what? A measly $1? Joe, if it's money you want, I've got plenty of it.
It's not the money. Not really. It's a strange feeling I get. A strange, nervous feeling on the inside. It's my story and soon it will be in print. People will read it, something that I wrote.
Well, I don't understand it, but if it makes you happy, I suppose.
Now play fair, Teddy. What's your secret?
I know where Meg's missing glove is.
Is that all?
Ask me where it is.
Well, where is it?
Brooke has it.
How do you know?
Saw it.
Where?
His pocket. He had it the night they danced together at Grandfather's party. Isn't that romantic?
No, it's rubbish.
I thought you'd be pleased.
Pleased? At the thought of someone taking Meg away. Why do things always have to change when they seem so perfect? Meg used to share everything with me. Now she thinks John is a lovely name and that brown eyes are beautiful. Well, I think it's sickly, sentimental, romantic rubbish, and he better not try to break our family up.
You feel differently when someone tries to take you away.
I'd like to see someone try. I'll die a spinster rowing my own canoe before I let any man catch me.
I'll catch you, Josephine. March.
Never! Move out of the way!
Oh, hey.
Good afternoon, Miss Josephine, and good afternoon, Master Theodore.
Thank you for your assistance this afternoon, John.
Oh, my pleasure.
Goodbye, Mr. Brooke.
Yes. Well, goodbye, John.
Goodbye, Meg.
I have never been so embarrassed in all of my days. When are you going to stop behaving like a child?
Not until I'm old and stiff and need a crutch. Don't try to make me grow up before my time, Meg. It's hard enough having you change all of a sudden. Just let me be a little girl as long as I can.
I haven't changed a bit. But it's time you stopped your romping ways. Just look at you. No hairpins, no combs. Running around like a loose horse.
I wish I was a horse!
You're such a child.
Well, goodbye, I suppose. Joe, why are you mad at me?
Hannah, where's Hannah?
What's the matter, Bethy?
No, Joe, don't come near me. I feel so tired, and please get Hannah.
Hannah, come quickly.
Here, Bethy, why don't you just come and sit down on the couch?
What's happened, Joe?
Don't come near me, Meg.
What is it?
Oh, Joe, the baby is dead. The little Hummel baby died in my lap.
Oh, Bethy.
She seemed asleep, and then she gave a cry and trembled and then lay very still. I tried to warm her feet, but she lay so still, and then I knew she was dead.
It's not your fault.
The doctor came. He said it was scarlet fever. Oh, Beth.
Why don't you go lie down?
No, Amy. You've never had it, and I feel so strange.
Joe, help me get her to her room.
I'm all right. I'll be fine.
Of course, Bethy. Of course you will.
Meg, run and get Dr. Bangs.
Yes, Hannah, right away.
And as for you, miss, you're to stay clear of things down here. We'll have to send you off to your Aunt in March for a spell, for your own good.
I won't go! I won't! I would rather get scarlet fever and die than stay with Aunt March.
For heaven's sakes, be quiet for once in your life, Amy.
You better be off as soon as you can. Scarlet fever is no joke, miss.
But it's stolen Aunt March's and she's cross. And I don't want to be sent off as though I'm in the way.
It's to keep you well. I have a plan. I'll pop in every day and tell you how Beth is.
Will you take me out driving?
Every day. On my honor.
And bring me back the minute Beth is well.
The identical minute. See if I don't.
Oh, well, all right then.
There's a good girl. Anna? Don't get up. I just came by to see how she was doing.
Dr. Bangs had expected the fever to break by now, but I'm afraid we'll have to send for Mrs. March as soon as Meg returns.
Oh, Hannah.
You children begged me to telegram her weeks ago, but I was afraid of fretting her just yet. But now the end may be very close, and Miss Beth seems weaker every moment.
Hannah?
Yes, miss.
Joe.
She doesn't even recognize us. How I wish Marmee were here.
It's okay, Joe. I'll be strong for you.
If only I'd sent that telegram.
Joe. Marmee will be here in a few hours.
No, she won't. How could she be? There isn't time.
I got fidgety, and so did Grandfather. So we sent Brooke back to fetch her. She'll be here on the 5 o'clock train.
Marmee? Here. In a few hours?
Yes, Joe.
Laurie! I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to fly at you like that.
Fly me again. I rather liked it.
No, thank you. I'll do it by proxy when your grandfather comes. Laurie, if life is as hard as this, I don't think I'll ever get through it.
We'll all laugh and have fun and games, just like the old times. You'll see.
I hope so, Laurie. I truly do.
Well, I'm off to the station, and I shan't spare the horses.
Thank you, Laurie. Thank you. Please, Lord, if you must take Bethy, please wait until Marmee gets home. But please, Lord, don't take her because she's such a... Well, please don't.
Yes. Exactly as you say, Dr. Bangs.
The fever's broken. Oh, thank heaven.
He says she's starting to pull through now.
Oh, Hannah, I don't think I'll complain about another thing for as long as I live.
We're to have plenty of warm milk for her. For strength. As soon as she's able. We'll have her on the road to recovery and a slap in the bang, miss.
Oh, Hannah, you truly are an angel. What about Amy?
Sent for soon as the doctor had said. Is Beth resting now?
Yes. I'll have her old linen stripped and fresh linens on in just a few minutes.
We'd have plenty of warm milk for her.
Yes, Hannah. Marmee!
The doctor says she's going to get well.
Everything is going to be all right now. Marmee, you're home.
Bethy?
Oh, Marmee. I thought... You look so beautiful.
Amy! I came straight away like your note said. Marmee!
She's going to recover. Our Bethy is going to recover.
Oh, Beth, you have no idea how much I worried about you. I thought about you day and night. I even wrote a will.
A will?
Yes, just in case I got sick too. You didn't laugh. I left you my favorite drawing pencils, my bronzing stand, and my sketch pad.
Well, that's very thoughtful.
Of course, since I didn't die, nobody gets anything.
Excuse me, is this the march home?
It is indeed.
Then I have a very special delivery for you.
Meg, Hannah, Amy, Joe. Now, my dear Bethy.
Well, this is plummy, just plummy. The whole March family's all together again. I call this splendid, really, I do.
What are you doing?
Writing?
Well, I can see that. I meant, what are you working on?
I'm not sure, but it may very well become a tragedy, depending on what the heroine, decides.
Well, do keep me posted.
I'll do my best.
Will you be using the room for much longer?
Why? Are you expecting someone?
I? Of course not.
You are. You're expecting that man, aren't you?
Don't be foolish. And if you happen to be referring to Mr. Brooke, you...
I knew it! You think you're in love with him, don't you?
Well, I
can tell you right now, you're not.
I'm not.
Of course not. I'm a writer, and I write about girls who are in love all the time. And I can tell you right now that you have none of the signs. You sleep well, you eat fine, and you're never depressed. So clearly, you're not in love. So, there's no need for you to go off and do anything foolish. Like marry that man.
I don't intend to marry any man.
You don't? Well, cheers for you, Meg March.
Well, now.
What are you going to say to him? It wouldn't be polite to just send him packing.
Well, I've no intention of being rude. Oh, really, this is so silly. Who says he'll even ask for my hand at all? All right. If he does, I'll just say to him, quite calmly and politely, I'm afraid I must agree with Marmee. I'm too young to enter into an engagement right now. But thank you, Mr. Brooke. You are most kind, and I hope that we can continue to be good friends. How's that?
Good and stiff. That should throw him off the tracks. You'll just hand him his walking papers and things should get back to normal around here.
Oh, it's him, Joe. I just know it.
Just remember, good and stiff. How I'd love to see his face. Good afternoon, Mr. Brooke. Meg's in the sitting room. She's been expecting you.
Oh, really? Well, I'd only stopped by because I'd forgotten my umbrella and thought I might speak with your father, too.
He's in the coat rack. I mean, it's reading the paper. I'll go tell him you're here.
Is there something the matter, Meg? Have I upset you somehow? Please, don't be mad with me.
How could I be? You've been so kind to our family. I only wish I knew some way to thank you properly.
Shall I tell you how?
Please don't.
Meg, listen to me. I love you. And even if you don't love me now, perhaps in time you might learn.
I don't choose to learn. Now, please, go away and leave me alone.
Do you really mean that?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Won't you think about it? I'll wait.
I wish you wouldn't. Now, please.
Meg,
What's this? What's going on here?
He's just a friend of Father's. I'm so surprised to see you, Aunt March.
That's evident. There's mischief going on here, and I insist on knowing what it is.
Mr. Brooke just stopped by for his umbrella, you see.
Brooke? That boy's tutor? Ah, I see it all now. He's proposed, hasn't he?
Please, he'll hear you. Shall I call Father?
Have you accepted him? Do you intend to marry this cook?
Please.
Not until I speak my mind. Now let me tell you this, that if you marry this hook or rook or crook, not a penny of my money goes to you.
I shall marry whom I please, Aunt March. And you can leave your money to anyone you please.
Now be a reasonable girl. It is your duty to marry a rich man and to help your family. You can be sure that this hook fellow knows you have a rich relation. Me. And that's why he wants to marry you.
How dare you say such a thing? Why, my John would no more marry for money than I would.
My highty-tighty, aren't we now, Miss Independence? Well, you'll be sorry for it when you've tried love in a cottage and find it a failure.
It can't be worse than what one finds in a big, empty house.
Well, I never! You do as you please. You see where my good advice gets me. But remember, the day you marry him is the day I disinherit you. Now, I can't. Well, you've made me forget what I came here for, Miss Insolence. I wash my hands of you, the lot of you.
I couldn't help hearing Meg. Thank you for defending me. And thanks, Aunt March, for proving that you do care for me a little bit.
I didn't know how much until she said all those dreadful things.
Will you wait for me?
Marmee! Marmee, come quick! John Brooke is acting dreadfully! And Meg likes it!
Run as fast as you can. I'll find every one of you.
Shocking, simply shocking. Why, it's a complete disgrace, if you ask me.
What is, Mother?
The way she lets her girls run about hither, thither, and yon like a pack of wild animals, and playing with a boy, no less. as though that were appropriate behavior for a young lady in a public place.
I would like to get to play and frolic a bit. It might be a bit more fun than dressing up to sit around and do needlework.
Or traipsing around town making social calls on people I don't even like.
Stop right where you are, young ladies. Your mother would never tolerate such impudence, and neither shall I. Those simply are not proper thoughts for a young lady to think, let alone speak out loud.
But, Mother, we appear to be quite alone here.
Don't talk back to me, Sally Gardner.
Beth, where are you? Amy? Joe? I know you. Mrs. Gardner. I didn't see you there. You see, I was, well, it was just that. Will you ladies excuse me for a moment? I'm in a bit of a rush.
I will never tolerate. I will never allow you or your friends to create a spectacle of yourselves the way Mrs. March does with her motley crew. Clearly, she doesn't know the proper way for a young lady to secure a good marriage, and she's willing to go to any means to achieve her plan.
What exactly are you saying, Mrs. Gardner?
Well, it's all so obvious, my dear child. Oh, the three of you are so innocent to the ways of the world. Surely you can see Mrs. March is an ambitious woman, ambitious for her daughters. Meg's engagement to Mr. Brooke is just the beginning of her little ploy to ingratiate their family to old Mr. Lawrence. Oh, she has plans for her girls, all right.
Our mother says that Meg would have made a much better match than Mr. Brooke.
Oh, not at all, my dear child, not at all. He is just their first step into the Lawrence household. Mrs. March views this Lawrence boy as the icing on the cake. He'll make a grand catch for her family. She's simply throwing her 3 remaining daughters to him the way one throws scent in front of a hound.
I don't think our mother would approve of your reference to Mr. Lawrence as some sort of domestic pet. Come, Belle, it's time we return home.
Well, she may not be sharing her opinions of this affair with you, but you can trust me when I say everyone in town is talking about it, and they've said just as much as I have, if not more, and in less fastidious terms.
Oh, Mother.
Joe, are you all right? Don't let them bother you, Joe. They don't bother me, really.
I'm not upset. I'm angry. Good and angry why I could spit tacks. Marmee doesn't have plans for us. Does she?
I've got you. I said I would catch all of you, but I didn't think it'd be this easy. What's the matter? Why aren't you laughing?
Maybe we aren't the ones who've been caught. Soon, summer was upon us, and sooner still was John and Meg's wedding day. Our lives were so full with preparations and plans for the wedding that we scarcely had time to think about the void that we left in our little house on the day of Meg's departure. But that day came at last, and with it those same feelings of joy and loss that attend the members at most weddings.
Come back. The celebration has just begun. Don't cry, Joe. It'll be all right.
No, it won't. now we will never be the same again.
You still have me, Joe.
I know, Teddy. You don't know how much I appreciate that, my dear boy. Now then, I've had my silly scene, and we should return to the party before we're missed.
Not just yet. Please, Joe. I have something to ask you.
No, Teddy. Please don't.
I will. And this time you must listen. The sooner the better. For the both of us.
Say what you like, and I'll listen.
I've loved you. Ever since I've known you, Joe. I couldn't help it. I've tried to show you, but you wouldn't let me. Now I'm gonna make you hear. And give me an answer.
I never wanted you to feel for me this way. I tried to keep you from it when I could.
I loved you all the more for it. I've tried to show you, well, ever since I came back from college.
I know.
I know I'm not half good enough. But if you love me, you can make me into anything you like.
I wouldn't change you, Laurie. Not for the world. It's you who need to change me. You should marry someone lovely and accomplished who will adore you and grace your fine house, and I couldn't. I loathe the social world, and you like it. You hate my scribblings, and I couldn't get on without them. In the end, we'd just quarrel, and...
No, we...
Yes, we would. We always have. It would be hard if we were ever foolish enough to...
Mary? No, it wouldn't. It could be heaven if we take a chance on it. Please don't disappoint me. Everyone expects it. Grandpa has his heart set in it. Your family too. Joe, I just can't go on without you. Say you will, Joe. Marry me.
I can't. Laurie, I'm sorry. I've tried to love you the way that you want because I'm so proud and fond of you. And I do love you. I love you dearly as a friend. But I can never love you as a wife. It would be a lie to say that I do when I don't.
Really and truly, Joe?
Really and truly. I don't believe I shall ever marry. I love my liberty too well to give it up for any man.
Yes, you will. I know you. You marry some no accountant, good for nothing idiot, and fall in love. It's your way. You work and live and die for him. I'll have to stay around and watch. I'll be hanged if I do.
Laurie, wait! Where are you going?
To the devil. Someday you'll be sorry, Joe March.
Why, Joe, why have you locked yourself away like this? You were missed. Meg and John want you there to see them off.
I'm sorry, Marmee. I'm just tired and I need to be alone for a while.
Well, all right then.
Marmee, what sort of plans do you have for us?
Plans, dear?
Yes, you know how some mothers want their daughters to marry rich men or something? The other day you asked me what my wishes were, and I'll tell you after I've heard what you want.
Well, I suppose I wish a good many things, no different from anyone else. I want my children to be admired and loved and respected. I want you to lead good and useful lives. I pray life sends you as little sorrow as possible. Of course I'm ambitious for you, like any other mother. I'd be happy to see you marry a rich man, if you loved him. But I would rather see you happy as a poor man's wife or a spinster than watch you lose your self-respect and happiness in a loveless marriage, even if it made you the queen of the world.
Thank you, Marmee. Thank you.
What's this?
I know, I chose right. I'm never getting married, ever.
Oh, really, dear?
Yes, now, I'll tell you what I want. I want to go away.
Joe, why?
I'm restless. I need to be out seeing and doing. I want to hop a little ways and try my wings.
Well, where do you intend to hop?
New York.
Joe!
Amy can take care of Aunt March now. They're more compatible anyhow. You have Beth here to help, and well, I figured I could work at Mrs. Kirk's. She's looking for help with the children. And with so many sites, I'd get lots of new ideas for my stories.
Joe, dear, be sure that you're running to something and not away from something. Or someone. Is it Laurie?
Marmee, he's gotten this romantic rubbish into his head, and I thought it would all blow over, but it's only gotten worse.
But how do you feel about it?
I love him dearly, as a friend. So I figured if I go away for a while, then things can get back to normal. I just know I don't want to make a mistake.
I think you're right, Joe. It might be best for the both of you. I'll write to Mrs. Kirk, and if Father agrees and can be managed, you shall go.
Thank you, Marmee. Thank you.
Now come along, dear, and see Meg and John off on their honeymoon.
All right, Marmee.
Good afternoon, Mrs. March. I'll show you right in.
Show yourself in. Don't bother to announce me. The most remarkably slow woman I ever had the misfortune to meet. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Aunt March.
Good afternoon.
I expect you'll be wanting a spot of tea then.
Gracious Snow, I've completed my business here, driven to town, and finished my afternoon calls before you could even capably warm up a pot.
Very good. Ma'am?
Well, now to the point. I'm going abroad next month to Europe, and as I've discussed in the past, I shall require a proper traveling companion.
We'll wire for Joe immediately, Auntie.
Joe? Good heavens, no. I said a proper traveling companion. That one's got such a blunt disposition. She put a freeze on foreign relations for the next decade. Goodness, no.
But, Auntie...
No arguments, please. I'm quite decided about this. Amy will accompany me. We're more similar in temperament. Amy is docile and respectful and received this opportunity graciously without a sense of entitlement.
Oh, Auntie, I don't...
Hush, my child. Any arguments will be stuff and nonsense. My mind is made up. Besides, it's time for you to have a chance to try your art, and Rome will be just a place for you to study it.
We don't know how to thank you, Auntie.
This will be an exceptional opportunity.
Oh, pish-posh.
Oh, thank you, Auntie.
Nonsense, nonsense, my dear. Well, now, I'm off to town now to begin our preparations. Good afternoon. You'll call on me tomorrow to begin our arrangements for your traveling wardrobe.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you again, Aunt March.
Europe will do you a world of good, shall they? A world of good.
Oh, Marmee.
Poor Joe.
Aunt March is quite decided. It'll be wrong to try and change her wishes. There'll be no one doing things for Joe this time.
But she'll be so dreadfully disappointed. How am I ever going to explain this to her?
Let's not spoil your good fortune right now with those concerns. Joe will have her reward someday, and it'll be every bit as unexpected and wonderful as yours.
Father's right. No reproaches and no regrets. You can stop in New York and see her personally before you sail, if that will help.
Yes, Marmee. That would be a comfort.
I hate to be selfish, but I'm glad Joe isn't traveling quite so far away from us just yet. It's hard enough to bear with her off in New York.
Yes, dear, I know.
Well, enough conversation for now. We have some preparations to begin.
Amy's visit was a comfort for both of us. Her gentle ways and thoughtful words did much to ease the pain of losing my long-anticipated European tour. Aunt March informed me that Laurie and Mr. Lawrence had also booked passage to the continent. However, during those long days before they set sail, no calling card from my dear Teddy ever arrived. Laurie's intended slight wounded me every bit as deeply as he had hoped. when no experience in my early life had prepared me for the telegram I received several months later. So, it was with a strange mix of emotions that I returned home to Concord after receiving that urgent message.
Has Joe arrived yet?
No, child. Your father took the carriage to meet her at the station.
Is there anything we can do for you?
Land sakes. No. There's little enough for me to do now as it is.
The house has been so empty with Joe gone. And now with Amy off and...
Oh, what about the telegraph?
Straight away. Same day as Miss Josephine's. Amy's answer seemed to come back as soon as she received it. Already headed back she was, but your parents wouldn't allow it. Too long and costly of a trip, and it wouldn't be fair for Aunt March as though that Biddy ever worried about anyone but herself.
The poor dear.
She must be heartsick.
That she is. But Mr. Lawrence sent word that he and Laurie would be meeting them in Nice, and they would do their best to keep her mind off of things.
I'm sure they will. And Laurie's such a comfort. Joe, you're here at last.
Oh my God, Hannah.
I'll take your luggage upstairs for you.
This house has been so empty without you.
Put the kettle on, Hannah. I'll tell Marmee and Beth.
Father? What can we do? I feel so alone there. There must be something.
Nothing. It's just a matter of time now, Joe. Most important thing is to be brave for our sake. There. We mustn't let her see us cry.
I know, Father. I'll be strong for Bethy.
I know you will. I know I could never doubt you for a moment, my brave, brave girl.
Joe, it's so good to have you home again.
Beth! My Beth, how I've missed you.
I've been longing to see you, Joe. And here you are just like I dreamed. If Amy were here, we could all be together again.
Oh, Beth.
Sorry to interrupt, but...
Yes, John, you're right. We must be getting back to the twins now. I can bring them round in the morning for a visit, if you like.
Yes. I'd love to see them.
Until tomorrow, then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Well now, Beth, I've got so much to tell you I hardly know where to begin.
We'll leave you two for your catching up, then.
Good night, my children.
Marmee.
Good night, Beth. Good night, Joe.
Good night, Father. Presents first. There you are.
Oh, Joe. You're so thoughtful.
Wind it up. I figured it could accompany you while you play since you haven't had me to croak along with you lately.
I don't play anymore.
Oh. I almost forgot to tell you what I've been working on. A book.
A whole novel?
Yep.
May I read it?
I actually don't have a copy on hand right now, you see. I finished it before I left.
Oh. When will it be published?
Who knows? I didn't leave it with a publisher. I left it with Professor Baird.
You must be very fond of him.
I am. You see, he's the reason I wrote the book. He told me I need to stop writing about the people and places and things that I've never seen and start writing about the people and places and things that I know.
Did you?
Yes, Bethy.
What's your book about?
You, Bethy, well, all of us, really, and all the times that we used to share.
It's all right, Joe. It's all right. You don't have to cry.
I'm not crying. Not really. I'm just so lonesome. Lonesome for Meg and Amy and all the times that we used to share.
It's all right, Joe. You don't have to be brave for me. I know. Don't tell Father or Marmee, but I know. I haven't wanted to tell anyone but you, my Joe. But I can feel myself slip a little each day, like the tide going out.
Don't say it, please, Bethy.
Doesn't that sound funny? Me telling you? Me, the cricket by the hearth, the always content to stay safely at home, while you and Meg and Amy dream of flying away. I suppose it's my turn to fly away first this time.
Bethy.
But it seems I was never intended to live very long. I could never dream what I would do when I grew up, because I could never bear the thought of leaving home. But I'm not afraid, Joe. Not anymore. Because love is the only thing we can carry with us when we go. And I have so much, I know it will make the end easy. But, Joe, I think I may be homesick for you, even in heaven.
Nothing can part us, Bethy. Not really, not ever.
Yes, I know. You must take my place for Mother and Father. They will turn to you. Help them through this.
I will, Bethy, I promise.
Thank you. I feel that I can rest now.
Joe, Hannah and I are going over to Meg's to greet the wedding party. Father and John are driving them over straight from the station. I know Amy is eager to see you. She and Laurie missed us all so much at their wedding in Nice. Won't you reconsider and come with us?
I'm fine, Marmee. Besides, someone has to keep the household fires burning before the entourage arrives. Besides, I'll be seeing Aunt March soon enough.
I suppose you're right. I just worry so. We've all had to bear so much, but I find my mind wandering to you more and more lately. Are you all right, Joe? I know how disappointed you were when Aunt March took Amy in your place and then... Well...
Bethy.
Yes. Bethy. Is it the marriage, Joe?
Oh no, it's not that. Things worked out just the way they should have. I've just been feeling lonely lately. Lonely for the times that can never be the way they were again. Perhaps if Laurie had proposed to me now, I would have said yes. Only because it means more to me now to be loved than it used to.
Oh, Joe. Your time will come.
No, Marmee, I don't think I'll ever marry.
You've always known what you've wanted, Joe, and you've had the courage to follow through. Your time will come, and it will be right, because you've known all along what you've been waiting for.
We've got to shake our tail feathers, Mrs. March, unless you want to miss their arrival.
Yes, Hannah, I'm coming. Joe, dear, put the kettle on, and we'll be back with the newlyweds before you know it.
Come in.
Guess who?
Laurie! My Teddy! No, I missed you. Where is everyone? Mommy and Hannah
They're
just...
still at Meg's. I came here because I wanted to see you first, Joe. I want to tell you something, and we'll put it past us forever.
You don't have to say it, Laurie. It was meant to be.
I know that now.
You were so headstrong and certain then.
Well, now that things have settled properly, it'll be just like old times around here.
No. Things can never be the way they were again. We aren't playmates anymore. We're man and woman now. But we can love and help each other for the rest of our lives, like brother and sister.
Yes, Joe. Always.
Where is she? Where is my old Joe?
Oh, Amy, or should I say Mrs. Lawrence, just look at you.
Blessed if she even slipped from head to foot, and with a new Paris bustle to boot.
Oh, Joe, can you ever forgive us? We have left you with so many burdens to bear, but never again.
Amy, just look at you. To think I should ever see the day when you turned our dear Teddy into a hen-pecked husband.
No welcome home from me, Miss Congeniality?
Of course, Aunt March. It's so good to see you.
Not at all, not at all. Look at me, spending all that money on those medicinal bands and fancy foreign doctors. For what? On a day like today? Oh, my rheumatism. You know, Europe isn't all what they said. It was so foreign. They simply wouldn't speak to me in English, just babbled on and on. Oh, but they understood me. I have no doubt.
Things are the same all over the world. I'll go lay out a tea service, ma'am.
Thank you, Hannah.
Do tell me all about Europe.
What is there to tell? Nothing but a wretched collection of ancient broken down buildings and filthy, filthy streets.
But in Europe, one finds the dirt so picturesque.
Charmingly put, Mrs. Lawrence.
Yes, my wife has quite a with words.
We're all familiar with it, Mr. Lawrence.
Now tell us what your plans are once you two have settled in.
Well, I wouldn't doubt if she drove 6 white horses, ate off of gold plates, and wore diamonds every day, since Teddy thinks nothing's too good for her.
Oh, Joe, really?
This is for you, Miss Josephine. It just arrived by post.
I didn't order any.
Well, open it, Joe. Let's see what it is.
It's my book.
Oh, Joe.
It's from Professor Bear. A friend of mine here in New York has agreed to publish your wonderful novel. He has great hopes for it. And so, it is with deepest regards and best wishes that I send you the first copy. I have never read another piece with such simple truth and beauty. Fondly, Fritz Bear.
Oh, your first book.
That's my
Good
job.
job. So proud.
Marvelous.
My Beth by Josephine March.
Read for us, Joe.
Oh no, really, I can't.
Go.
Please,
on.
come on.
Dedicated with love to my sister Beth. My mind drifts back to that Christmas Eve, so long ago, when nothing in our little home seemed wrong, and nothing in the world outside seemed right.